Abraham is considered the father of faith. Abram, as he was first known. He's not just considered the father of faith for Christianity and for Judaism. He's also considered the father of faith for Islam. So in essence, all three of the great monotheistic religions of the world, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, all trace themselves back to Abram or Abraham. He historically is the father of faith. It's not surprising then that there's a whole lot in our Bible about Abraham. And that part of our Bible about Abraham is included in the Islamic scriptures. It also probably should not be a surprise to you to know that there exist outside of Scripture legends about Abraham. Multiple legends and myths about him because he's such a huge figure in history. Abram's father was a general to a great emperor, Necho. And Abram was perceived upon his birth to be a threat to that emperor. And because of that perception of threat, which, by the way, the legend says that when Abram was born, a star appeared in the sky. Now, this is all legend. And that star, special star that appeared in the sky, is what made the emperor afraid. So Abram's father took him, the legend says, and hid him in a cave so that he would not be killed, for Necho intended to kill the child. For years, Abram and his mother were hidden in a cave to protect his life, the legend says. The legend says that when Abram was 12 years old, such a significant age, that he walked outside of the cave in which he lived, and he watched the sun as it rose in the morning sky over the desert, and that he thought to himself, as the sun drove away the darkness and made the desert come alive in the radiance of its light and the warmth of its heat, he thought, the sun must be a god, and that he must worship such a powerful God. And so the 12-year-old boy, the legend said, worshiped the sun. But as the day went long, the sun began to set. And young Abram thought to himself, how can the God who is the maker of all be set and disappear? And as the sun was set, he saw the moon come up, and he saw the host of the heavens, the stars, in the backdrop of the moon. And so young Abram reached a different conclusion. He saw that the moon and the host that accompanied it, the stars, had defeated the sun. And so he thought, the moon and the stars, these are the great gods. And he worshiped them. But then as the night went long, the moon set. And then as dawn came, the sun rose again, and the stars were defeated. And the legend says that Abram concluded to himself that the sun cannot be a god, and the moon and the stars, they cannot be a god, because they are governed by laws. And they obey those laws day after day, night after night. And the legend says that Abram then concluded, there is a lawgiver, one who has set the laws of the world. And this was God. And it was this God he then dedicated his life to worship.